Blacksanding, or beachcombing as it's sometimes called, is a method of gold extraction used on beaches where a miner will harvest seams of black sand, which will be containing the gold, and sluicing it down the sluice. Today we're going to go over all the basics of blacksanding and show you how it's done and get some footage for you. What's up guys, it's the sluices here and we're down at a gold bearing beach and we're doing some beach combing / blacksanding. Now pretty much how this works is it's the same as regular gold mining, except when you're on a beach you're dealing with ultra fine sand sized gold mixed in with black sand. So there's a few differences. Number one, you need to classify down really small. Number two, you need your sluice going really slowly, really carefully, and dream mats sadly don't really work, or at least not the gold rat ones we use. You kind of just need your standard riffle mat. So we've got our equipment set up here. Sand's kind of automatically pouring through the sluice actually, but we did a pan from up in here, where Dad's digging right now. And it's not so much in the sand, but boy is there some good gold. This is one pan, you can see there's that one bit there, right there, all those fines, and all those fines up through there. Nothing crazy, but there's a big pan, and it wasn't even that full of material, one pan, that's bloody good for beach gold, so we're going to get to it. See the runner colour all across the edge there. Lots of little fine gold. So we haven't actually put anything through the sluice yet. We just filled up our first bucket there. But the sluice, what it keeps doing is we build these dams and it just slowly blows it out, and there's just constant material flowing through and clogging up the sluice. So we're probably going to abandon the sluice and actually just pan it. Because without a pump or a high banker, you can't do anything here, and you're not allowed those. But what I might do then is all this material that's just been constantly flowing through the entire time, we might clean the sluice out with that stuff and see if there's anything in that. So we'll test that. So sluice concentrates it in that bucket. We'll see if there's anything. Got the pan here, so we'll go down and check it out. This bottom stuff out of the bucket is where the gold promise is. It's where the few bigger rocks that went down the sluice are stuck in, and most of the heavies, because a lot of that sand was just that really light floating sand that had been washed into the sluice. In fact, everything had been washed into the sluice, but a lot of the stuff in those was that. This is showing garnets, bigger rocks, quartz, shells, everything. So if there is gold, it'll be in this. There's a nice wee flake. Big flake for beach gold.
Got a flake in there.
Have a look at that. Right there. That flake of gold. There's a nice big flake for a beach. And there's a few little bits of fine. Nothing exciting, like there's a little piece in that black sand. Nothing exciting, but there's that one flake right there, which is not bad. But what we might do is we might just fill up these buckets and I might just pan them down and see what we get. We'll get back to you. 4 pans in on the first bucket. That's what our total's looking like, right there. See that colour there? A few bigger bits too. Nice gold there. Let's see 4 or 5 pans out of that bucket. If only we could get a good sluice set up, boy, that would be good. But we'll keep panning it out and keep going. So I've decided instead of spending ages and panning it out and sucking it up, I'm going to do the good old trick of a concentrate bucket. So pretty much shovel the dirt into the pan it down to that last bit of material, but not waste the time to fiddle around and suck up the gold. Just pour that last bit of concentrate into the concentrate bucket. So at the end we then have that bucket to take home, which we can process and get our total out of. And then it maximises the material we can process while we're out on the beach. We'll get to panning. That's that bucket 3/4 cleaned out and a little bit of concentrate in there. We'll keep going. That's another 1 pan of the bucket. All that there is gold. A few bigger flakes through there. All that fine gold, probably about a 200, 300 speck count. Just from 1 pan of the sand stuff in the beach. There's a bit of gravel in there, but mostly sand. Very solid. Only we had a good sluice set up here. We'll keep going. This is a first. I believe we've found some mercury. So see all that stuff there? Looks like gold. That was 1 ball. It was like a ball of shiny stuff, looked like mercury. And I pressed down on it, but it didn't crush, but it just split into lots of smaller shiny balls. So I believe found a ball of mercury there. This area was obviously, as with pretty much everywhere, worked by the old timers. So that could be why. Interesting. So we're cleaning out the hole. We're on our 3rd bucket now. They're easier to dig than regular buckets because it's beach material, really sandy, fills up really quickly. But the classifier is a lot smaller, so it's a lot more material to fill up a bucket. So really overall, they're probably about the same amount of time as our normal buckets. But I'm digging out the hole, and there's a clay layer there, which is really weird because you can see just over there, there's a bedrock layer, and then here there's a clay layer. So that material there, we're just scraping off and then cleaning it off the top of the clay. Seems to have some quite good colour, as you've been seeing, so we'll keep digging. Guess what I just got? Massive picker. Nah, it's not actually a picker, but that is quite a sizable piece of gold. For beach gold indeed. That is a nice flake by any standards. Got some nice shape to it. And yeah, that came out of one of the pans there. There's also quite a few flakes and micro fine gold. It's mostly micro fine and fine gold, but you can see a bit of shape to some of the bits, but there are actually flakes, and it's really not focusing, but some bigger bits too. That is solid. We're on our 5th bucket now. We're only going to do 5 for today just because we have to go really slow because we're having to pan them because the sluice wasn't going well. So we're just having to pan them. But we're on our 5th bucket now, and we'll finish that off. We'll keep digging and see you the cleanup. There's our hole, all done. 5 bucket hole, probably the equivalent of about, what, 10 or 8 normal buckets of material because of the smaller classifier, but a lot easier digging, so about the same amount of time as 5 buckets would normally take us in the river. You already see, even since we stopped digging, the streaks of black sand starting to form on top of the bedrock layer there from the flow coming in. Very cool. But there's our hole, and sadly I've had to pan all 5 buckets out. Been pretty much constantly panning, my back is killing me. But we have all 5 buckets down into concentrate, that much concentrate there. That's probably about half a full pan's worth of concentrate, because I pan them down to that last bit of material before you spin it back. Carefully. It was black sand heavy, and it is really fine gold. But I calculated this, the rate I'm going, I'm probably still catching about 90 to 95% of the gold, which is good enough for me. I could probably get that a lot higher, but then I'd be taking twice as long to pan, which I just don't think is worth it. But we've got that concentrate, we'll clean that out and show you the total from our beach gold trip. End of day cleanup from the 5 buckets. This is probably only about 70% of the gold, as I went through the concentrate somewhat quickly. But there is some solid colour in there. It looks rather small from here, but it's all still mixed in with the black sand, and it's really hard to separate. But all through there is gold like that. Heaps of fine gold, and quite a few larger flakes, as you can see there. It's going to take me a very long time to separate, but from what I've managed to gather and get, and I have managed to get most of the gold together at points, I reckon it's probably 1/4 to 1/3 of a gram for 5 buckets of beach gold, which is very good for beach gold. If you started working that full time, dig, and you had a proper setup, not having to pan it all, you'd be making a lot of money. You'd probably be making, not a lot, you'd probably be making, what? Yeah, probably like 1/4 gram an hour or so. But, not bad at all. But that is very solid. That blob of mercury in there, I should have known better, but I left it in, and I'm pretty sure I've noticed bits of gold with little particles of the mercury stuck to it, and the ball reformed itself, and I am almost certain that it's been sucking up the gold or whatever mercury does. The gold's been sinking into it. No, I'm not sure, but there's a little bit of it there. It's got a bit of gold stuck to it too. There's little bits of mercury there. So it's a bit of a pain, that piece. But yeah, that was the beach gold video, guys. Some prospecting at a beach. Very solid result in the end, and it will be an interesting location to maybe try it again in the future with even more material. I think we did pretty well. Shame we couldn't get a good sluice set up, but got some good gold in the end. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more from us, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And we hope to see you on the next one. We just want to give a huge thank you to all our channel patrons. If you're interested in becoming a patron as well and throwing a ton of support behind the channel while receiving a ton of bonus perks like extra videos, posts, shout outs, gold pay dirts and more, make sure to check the link in the description below. Thanks for watching.